Most people think they're burned out, but often they're misaligned. Burnout is often just misalignment you've been enduring long enough. You can love God, you can work hard, you can serve faithfully, and still feel internally restless. I've been there. There was a season where everything looked aligned in my life on paper, but internally, I was really frustrated, and that frustration started leaking into my marriage. It showed up in my tone, in my conversations, in my energy level. I wasn't lacking opportunity. I thought I was, but I was really lacking clarity. And what I learned is this: before you change your environment, you must understand your formation. There are 5 movements that bring clarity: reflect, reveal, refocus, rebuild, and respond. So today, I want to focus on the first 2 because if you skip these 2, the rest will not work. Psalms 139:16 says, "All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be." That means your story is not random. It is formed. Reflect is not nostalgia, and reflect really is formation awareness. It's the discipline of studying your story. Most people want to know their calling, but they've never examined their formation. Reflection asks, where did I feel most alive? Where did I feel most frustrated? And what roles do I naturally step into? What patterns keep repeating? Here's the shift. Reflection is not about the event. It's more about the pattern underneath the event. So for example, in my own life, when I reflected honestly, I realized something consistent. Whenever I was helping someone gain clarity for their life about who they were and their strengths, I came alive. I felt energized. Even if I was tired physically, I felt alive internally. But when I was operating primarily in roles that suppressed my wiring, I felt drained. Same effort, different alignment. Reflection reveals patterns, and patterns reveal formation. And so formation informs direction. So without reflection, you'll misinterpret your future. You will chase opportunity instead of recognizing design. Ecclesiastes 3 says, there is a time for everything: a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to tear down and a time to build. But here's what that passage really is saying beneath the surface. Not every season is a building season. Some seasons are a studying season. And if you try to build before you've studied, you will build on a foundation that you don't understand. Reflection is how you honor the season you're actually in. It slows you down long enough to see God's hand in your story. And until you see that clearly, you will keep reacting instead of responding. Romans 12:6 says, we have different gifts according to the grace given to each of us. Reveal is discovering your wiring, not what impresses people, not what culture celebrates, not what pays the most, but what God designed into you. Reveal is when your design becomes visible. And here's where many people go wrong. They compare instead of discern. Comparison asks, why am I not like that person or them? Discernment asks, how was I made? Reveal requires humility, and it requires listening. It requires paying attention and what comes naturally to you, Not what you forced, but what flows. What consistently stirs your heart even when no one is watching? What others have seen in you repeatedly, even when you don't see it yourself? Those are not accidents. Ephesians 2:10 says, "We are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works prepared for us in advance." So that means your wiring matches your assignment. But if you never pause to recognize your wiring, you'll keep operating outside of your design. And operating outside of your design leads to internal tension. So when I began to honestly reveal my wiring, I stopped asking what sounds impressive. And I started asking what is aligned. That question changed everything. Reveal doesn't give you a job title, but it gives you clarity about your design. And when you reflect and when reveal come together, something powerful happens. You stop chasing open doors and you start filtering doors. You begin to recognize this fits, this over here doesn't, this aligns, this drains. That's clarity. But here is the tension. Clarity alone is not enough. You can see your formation, you can recognize your wiring, and still stay stuck. That's why the next 3 movements matter: refocus, rebuild, and respond. So in the next video, I'll walk you through why clarity collapses without focus and what it actually cost when you see clearly but you don't act with courage. But before you rush, slow down, study your story, listen to your wiring.